not okay. I'm really not okay.
Sarah, just I noticed that you're really breathing quite heavily and that you're shaking and you're holding your chest and you're perspiring quite heavily. Just try something with me for a minute just to see whether that helps. I want you to breathe with me for the moment. So I'm going to start breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. So in through my nose for 4 counts and out through my mouth for 4 counts. Can you try that with me?
I'll try.
Thank you. So in through your nose, breathe in through your nose, 4 counts, and out through your mouth for 4 counts. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Just listen to my voice and follow my voice. In through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Is that beginning to feel better for you?
It is, thank you.
Okay. What do you think's, what has happened?
I live with anxiety, and I just thought I could do this, but I'm just so stressed and worried, and I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack.
Yeah, many people who experience symptoms of anxiety quite often do feel like they're going to have a heart attack. Just on that point, we probably should get you checked out physically just to make sure that's the case. But I encounter people who get anxious in this work that I do quite a bit, and it really seems to me like that could be happening. Has this been a problem for you in the past? I noticed that you declared that you'd been anxious. Tell me about when this has happened for you before.
Yeah. I've lived with it most of my life. For a good 12, 13 years of my life, I've had the diagnosis, but really I've always been a very anxious person. I find things just really difficult. I'm just scared of the world, really. So, and I'm just trying to work through that.
And I've noticed from your biography that you put in for this course that this was going to be a stepping stone for you to try and challenge yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I'm so fed up. I'm so fed up of living with anxiety and just missing out on everything. But I thought I could do this. I wasn't even going to write down that I live with anxiety, but I thought I'd better do that. So, because I just don't want to make a fuss, and I just want to try to start enjoying life. So,
what's happening to you at the moment doesn't mean that you're going to miss out on this as well, but can you tell me a little bit about what you have missed in the past due to your anxiety?
So much stuff. I just, school wasn't a joy for me. I just never really formed friendships really well. People just give up on me because I just think, like, having anxiety so much, I just have spent long periods of time just suffering with this and living with this, and I just want to get to a space where I can not have to deal with it so much anymore, find ways of trying to get past this. And I thought just throwing myself in and just trying to have a go instead of always just hiding from it. And I just don't, I haven't been able to keep friends because I just won't go out. I won't do stuff. I'm just too afraid that bad things are going to happen. And I know it's because that has happened before, but yeah, it's just, I just always think I'll be okay. And then I always think everything's kind of bad and bad things are going to happen. So,
what sorts of bad things do you think are going to happen?
Well, it always happens, I give things a go and it always gets ruined, or I just can't do it. And here, I'm so scared I'm going to fall. I was feeling okay. I got on the bus, and I know we're only starting from this little one, but all I can see is that big one over there, and I just can't move. I'm just stuck because I'm bound to fall off that thing, like how I'm bound to die. That's what I know it's probably not rational, but that's who I am.
Can I just say this, that it was wonderful for you to get to the point where you got on the bus and that you got here. I've been doing this for quite some time, and most people have a level of anxiety around this, even if they're dead at the double. So you've done extremely well to be here to begin with. When you say that it's never worked out for you, bad things have always happened when you tried new things. Has there been a time when it was different than that it did work out for you?
It's hard to think of that right now.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess that's why I do want to try, because I have been taking small steps. I live with my mum and dad. I have been taking small steps, just trying to get out with them, and we've gone to the movies, and I did have a good time, and stuff. But maybe I've chewed off more than I thought I was ready for at this moment, doing this alone.
Or maybe we just need to slow this down and take it step by step. What prompted you to do this as by way of getting into doing something to assist with your anxiety?
It's more just I really set myself a goal this year. I've really set my goal just to try to have more fun with my life, just give it a go, and trying to find that I try to control things a little bit more, and try to be open to the possibility that something could go okay. That's what I really want to achieve. I'm hoping I can achieve that sometime, but at the moment I just feel like shit, this is going to go bad today.
So when you've had anxiety issues in the past, have you ever done anything that assisted with that? And if so, what was that?
That's why I could relate to what you just did before, because I've worked with counsellors before. My parents have done therapy when I was younger, when I was an early teen, with me, did some family stuff to try to work on some ways to work through my anxiety attacks, and so breathing is often one I do. Sometimes, and actually, my anxiety is trying to tell me not to say this right now, but actually I felt like I could actually do that breathing exercise okay with you before, where in the past I just have anxiety attack and I just can't cope. So even sometimes end up in hospital.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things you said there that are really interesting. What we know is that some of the answers to people who experience anxiety are quite simple, and breathing is one of those things that we really do. What other things? So it sounds like through counselling they suggested some other things that you can do that help with your anxiety, and it sounds like goal setting was one of those, and challenging yourself.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, just because when I'm okay, not feeling like this, I have been setting some goals and just building up, and so that's been a real good 5-year process, really. So I have been trying to engage. Some of the goals that I've been thinking about learning something new, but I haven't sort of gone there yet, because I left school and things, but so I haven't, but I want to learn new things, and I want to try new things on a social level, because my social anxiety is the worst. So yeah. So
you may have learnt from some of the counselling before that mostly people with anxiety try to avoid situations. But
I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
And that's
But to
probably where
challenge
I've
yourself,
lost.
yeah,
Yeah.
to challenge yourself is a helpful thing to do in that regard. But it really means that you need to take that nice and steady and do that in gradual steps when you do it.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you a little bit more about that, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's okay with me.
I've got the other participants with somebody for a while, and you and I can talk. And what I want you to know about that first and foremost is nothing that we talk about will be passed on to anybody else unless you give me permission to do that. And that I may need to write some brief notes about what we're talking about, but with your permission, I'll show those notes to you and only submit them if you're happy with them.
Yeah, that sounds all right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
and so the other thing is I can talk to you about some of the people and services that we have available through Indigo Community Health to assist you with that. And they, you don't always meet the right person first up, but we have a number of really good people that I could perhaps talk to you about if that's okay with you. Or we could talk further about what else we can do here today to perhaps get you up on that first little rock, not the big rock, but the first little rock. It's totally up to you, and I want you to make decisions about that, because indeed you've been really strong in getting along to attempt this today. So I want to leave it with you, the decision about that with you. But let's talk a little bit more about that first. Are there any other things that you've done that have really helped with your anxiety in the past?
Just trying to accept that I'm feeling anxious. So because my other ways of dealing with it haven't worked, just avoiding staying home, staying in bed and stuff. So trying to move forward at the moment, it's really just trying to practice those strategies, like of just in my own mind, just taking a minute, trying to breathe myself before I get to a panic level, and just tell myself, or just remind myself when I'm having those thoughts that, oh, geez, this is going to end really badly. I'm going to die. And that's what I really am thinking at the moment. I'm trying to deal with that.
Yeah.
But just trying to say, okay, try to accept that feeling.
Yeah.
That it's my body just trying to warn me that I'm feeling anxious, and
Yeah.
going with that.
And given that you've been anxious before and you've got to this point where you've had some of these things that are going on for you at the moment, what do you know about that? You get that feeling that you're going to die, and then what happens?
Yeah, I do. And I don't know why I do that. It's just a response. It's just, I think just from an early, when I was still a kid, really, it was just my response is to always just think the worst. It's just always like, I faced some things as a kid, and I think just that stuff, I try to just think it is just my thoughts, and I don't need to always just think that's okay and that's the truth. So I try to work. So sometimes when I can, but I've normally still got a support person around me, but sometimes I can get myself thinking, oh no, thank you that I'm feeling that way. I am anxious, but try to breathe and take a minute and just try to work through that.
And then what happens?
Sometimes I can work through it. If I take just a couple of minutes, I can get there sometimes. Yeah. I have been successful. If I can just get over myself for a minute.
How many of these anxious episodes do you think you've had in your lifetime?
Lots, countless. Countless. They used to be all the time.
Yeah. But you're here today.
I am.
Yeah.
So
what does that tell you about these anxious episodes that you have?
Yeah, you're right. It does tell me that I can do this. Like I can, but I still don't really feel like I can right now.
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes when it's built up to that level, it puts a little bit of a stopper on us for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions about that? Because, of course, we know a lot about anxiety in this day and age, and that could inform us. Have you ever had any other difficulties associated with your anxiety at all?
I have got health sort of stuff now because just long-term dealing with this anxiety. Like I'm just dealing with just things, and I've got some health problems and stuff.
So physical things?
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking what those physical things are?
Just because I'm so anxious all the time. They have sort of told me now that because one of my responses is I get like a really racing heart all the time. So now I'm having some trouble a little bit with my heart.
Yeah.
So
it would be a good idea if we did get your heart checked out today.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of ways that we can do that. We can have the first aid officer have a look at you initially, but then we've also got a GP attached to the centre that we could just get to check you out, just to be sure, because we often like to make sure that it's not a physical thing that's happening with people.
Yeah.
Okay. Would that be reassuring to you?
Yeah, it would be. Even though my heart's not racing as much now that you've been able to sort of distract me a little bit from myself. It would be reassuring probably to just get checked.
And of course, you've done that. You've managed to do that. You've managed to focus on what we're talking about and to breathe, and that's really made a difference.
Yeah.
So where to from here for you today? What would you like to do from here?
I feel like I don't want to just give up. So, but I don't know if I want to participate either.
Yeah. Does that mean today or on an ongoing basis?
I would hope to think that I could give it the participation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still holding that I could try it.
Yeah.
But I don't think so today.
So you got this far today, to get on the bus and to get here and to face the task that's there. Perhaps the next time we could begin with a small rock and continue on that way.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that sometimes when your anxiety is like this and you've got support around you, that really helps?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Do you think that if we combined, this challenge that you've got with getting somebody to support you with your anxiety, that might be a good combination?
Actually, that's probably a good idea. Maybe even just for the beginning, Yeah.
Do you have anybody in your life at the moment that can support you in that way?
My mum, or my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about any other services or professional organisations?
Yeah. Really now, because I've just sort of been working through, I've just had my sort of case manager that I work with, and and she's my psychologist. Yeah.
Right. Could she assist you with that in any way, do you think?
Well, she could. She's good. We've been together for over 5 years now. Yeah.
Okay. So let me just summarise what we've been talking about and check on a few other things before we finish up. So when I was asking before whether you had any other associated difficulties with your anxiety, you said you had some physical things. Were there any other things?
Just more. I get the trembles really badly, and but they're starting to settle now, and just mainly just that, mainly just my physical response to stuff where I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack, and I get really sweaty and anxious and tremble a lot.
Sometimes people who've experienced anxiety throughout their lifetime also begin to have some difficulties with things like depression or with substance use to try and help control those things. Any of those things relevant for you?
Not so much substance abuse, but I guess, I have tried different things along the way, but I have had bouts of depression along the way, but, that's become sort of less the more I've sort of been allowing myself the opportunity to participate more in life and just try to have some fun.
Okay. Has that depression ever got to the point where you need to receive treatment, formal treatment for that?
I have in the past, yeah.
Okay. Going along with depression, quite often there are some difficulties with suicide or with self-harm. Any of those things ever been true for you?
A long time ago. I haven't had those sort of feelings or thoughts for many, many, many years. But when I was a teenager, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just check with you and ask if you've got any of those thoughts at the moment?
No, I don't.
Also, along with those things, sometimes we get thoughts of harming others. We get really frustrated and exacerbated in terms of our thinking, and we lash out at other people. You ever had any thoughts of harming any other people?
No. No.
Okay. What would you do if you did?
I don't know. I'd probably strangle my sister. So she's pretty annoying. But no, I wouldn't.
I'm sorry for laughing then. I took that you were joking with me.
No, you just made me feel a bit better, because if you met her, you would strangle it too. So, but yeah, no.
It sounds like you are starting to feel a bit more at ease.
Yeah, I am.
With me about those things. That's
great. Yeah.
All right. So let's decide what we're going to do from here. So what you've told me is that you've had these difficulties with anxiety throughout your lifetime, but that's made your life pretty bland, and you're ready to start to challenge some of these anxious thoughts and do some things which give you a little bit more involvement in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that you'd, even though you've had difficulty today getting to that activity, that you'd like to, with support of some of those people you've already got around you, begin to continue to try and persist with this and try and move forward with it in terms of the abseiling and those challenges.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so you've mentioned you've already got your mother and your psychologist in the community that could support you in that regard. Do you think that you have any other need for any further support?
No, I think I've got my good supports. It took me years to sort of get there, but my family are good, and yeah, and my psychologist is a good person.
And of course, I could continue to support you to get along, and we can break these challenges down into smaller parts for you if you wish, and begin to make that a little bit easier for you.
You could do that.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be good. I think I just jumped in too quickly.
Yeah. Well, we don't know until we do. So it's tremendous that you were able to do that to begin with.
Yeah.
Just checking with you about getting you checked out medically, though, because I think that's always a relevant thing to do. And just to reassure you that everything's fine in terms of those physical things, would you be open to me writing a referral for you to our GP just to make sure that those physical conditions you've got are under control at the moment?
Yeah, maybe if I could just have a check later today, but I do have a good GP as well. Okay. Sorry, yeah. I didn't say that.
Oh, no, wonderful. So do you feel that you could make an appointment for yourself to see your GP and just make sure those things are okay at the moment?
Yeah, I could. I'm feeling better. I'm calming down.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, that's tremendous. And what we might do is just have another little instance of breathing just before we finish. And then, you're quite welcome to remain with the group and just be with us for the rest of the time that we're going to be here if you wish. Or if you want to go home at the moment, that's fine. And I can make an arrangement with you for our next outing, which is next week, to get along and do that. And I can let you know how we could break things down for you in that regard. How does that sound?
It sounds good. Is today just the smaller rock?
It is. There will be some people moving on to the bigger rock, but yeah. generally today is a beginners group, so we're just operating on the smaller rocks, so 6 feet.
If I could, I wouldn't mind just watching today if I could. If I just knowing that I just won't have to do it, I would like to maybe watch.
Yeah, by all means, because sometimes just seeing the task breaks it down in our mind. It doesn't seem quite so big. I'm sure, as you said before, you were looking at that 180-foot thing, and that's not something you're going to take on in the first regard. So, yeah, we'd love to have you along if you want to come and just watch what we're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. That would be good.
Okay, so just before we go back out to the group, let's just get ourselves together and do some of that nice cleansing breathing again. So once again, just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Yeah, that's great. You're looking so much more physically well. The colours return to your face and you're not shaking anymore. Let's go and join the others and see what they're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.